Hello everyone, it's me again. So I'm going to talk today about fasting. I'm doing this video because just the other day I mentioned to you, my friends, on YouTube that I'm going to be fasting, and I asked if anyone would like to join me, and surprise surprise, I've had a few friends who've said yes, they'd like to join me in this fast. But the reason why I'm doing a video about it is because I was asked some questions regarding why I'm fasting, what kind of fast am I doing, what's the purpose, are there any dangers, and how long should people fast if they want to join me in this fast. So I thought instead of responding to your comments by your comment, I'm thinking I'll just do video. And but so far, let me just thank you all for joining me. There's so many of you who are going to do this with me. For a start, there's Kathy, J Mama, Karen, Phoebe, Nathan, Jason, Katia, Gabriel. There's so many more that I'm really happy to hear that, you guys. I'm really happy. Now, so I guess the first question, or one of the questions, I really quickly scanned through the feedback on that post, which is on my community tab if you want to have a look at it. Kirsten said she knows very little about fasting, and she wasn't taught much about it, and so she's gonna, however, give it a try and see how it goes. And the one thing I wanted to say to Kirsten was that just to have a little bit of knowledge regarding fasting will be to your benefit, because if you're better prepared and a bit more knowledgeable on the basics of fasting, you won't be in for a big shock. Because when you begin fasting, your body does go through, if you like, a shock. It's a shock to the system. It's not dangerous, however, let me say that. It's very natural for the body. I know that sounds sort of a contradiction from eating and feasting to fasting and depriving yourself of food, but it is very natural for the body. I guess what I should start to explain to you, friends, is why am I doing it? Right, several reasons. There's so many reasons. First start, I'm not very well. I've got several health issues, and it's just been compounded with this inflammation that I have. It's really bad. I'm in daily pain, and I've had this for how long now? 3 or 4 years now. I would say it's intensified in the last 2 years, this pain that I get. I also have, which is related to this pain, is nerve pain. I have a lot of nerve pain, and it's all over the place. It could be fibromyalgia. One of the doctor's appointments that I went to 2 years ago, they reckon it's fibromyalgia. I had a test done anyway. Regardless, I'm going to do the fast because I need to help my body reduce its inflammation. It's really for my spirit, my soul, and my body. A complete makeover. Like when you take your car in and you have a MOT, right? So my body needs it desperately. So I'm going to do this. I've been meaning to do this for a long, long time. I have done a water-only fast 2 years ago. And I did it for 15 days. Now, that might be shocking to some of you. For some of you, you're familiar with fasting. Your body's adjusted and adapted to a fasting lifestyle, so it won't be such a surprise. But I had never done a 15-day fast before, and I was so impressed with the effects of that fast. I can't believe so. It's over 2 weeks, 15 days, water only. And when I say water only, which is what I'm going to do for this fast, which is starting tonight, I've got a good few hours yet of eating and enjoying some food. The reason why it's so effective is because your body shuts down, in a sense. It stops the digestive tract, right? The digestive system from working. It takes a break, a very well needed break. And if you just think about it for a minute, when things are, let's say with a computer, when your computer is overheated, what's the first thing you do? You turn it off, right? You turn it off and you're hoping that it will reboot and reset itself. Well, this is what fasting does. I've learned a lot more about it now than I did 2 years ago through 2 particular doctors. And I'm going to put the links in the description because these doctors are absolutely amazing. They help their patients who are sick, diabetic patients, type 2 diabetic, not type 1. And they've been really, really successful with fasting, you guys. So another reason is I've got some cysts as well that I want them to go. I want them to be dissolved. This is why my fast is going to be a little longer, hopefully, God willing, in Jesus' name. I'm totally dependent on the grace of God to do this. When I did that fast 2 years ago for 15 days, it was the Lord sustaining me, absolutely. But it wasn't painful. It wasn't. Only the first 2 days were very uncomfortable, I would say. Possibly the 3rd day as well was a little uncomfortable. But what happens after that is that your body uses up all its sugar. And when it converts it, I think it's called glycogen, right? So when your body's depleted of all the sugar that you've been eating daily, it's therefore looking for the next food source. And when you're fasting, your body's waiting, right? When you're going to feed me? I'm not used to this. My routine is to eat at a certain time. So your body begins to go into this craving stage where it's kicking, making a fuss. And that's uncomfortable, really uncomfortable for the body. However, if you allow yourself to bypass that stage, let's say the first 24 hours, 36 hours, pushing it, maybe let's say into day 4 of not eating anything, your system is taking a break. If you allow yourself to go past that stage, your body, what it does then, it's looking for food to burn off energy for fuel. It goes to your fat stores. And trust me, I have plenty of that. I have so much fat on my body, you guys. Look at my face. My face is exploding. I mean, it's so chubby right now. So my body's going to go to my fat stores for fuel. And that's where I'm going to overcome the pain of craving, the discomfort of coffee, for example. Some people can still drink coffee if they want, like a black coffee. But if you want a quick coffee, that's absolutely fine. Give it a shot. But you will get very bad side effects because your toxins are leaving your body from coffee drinking. That would just make it a little harder, a little bit more uncomfortable for you. But now, where was I? Okay, shall I carry on reading the questions that were down there? There's so much to talk about regarding fasting, honestly. Let me just go through a little list. It's from this book, actually, and I ordered it 2 years ago. It's if I show it to you, you won't be able to read it because it's back to front. Anyway, it's by this doctor I was telling you about, Dr Jason Fung. And he's a Canadian doctor, a nephrologist, I believe, a kidney specialist. And so majority of his patients are type 2 diabetics. And he's been implementing fasting for them to get better. And he's had a very, very good success rate with it. And he said it's absolutely safe. The best thing about it is that it's free, isn't it? It's free. Right, some of the myths or lies that are told about fasting, and this is obviously what big pharma promote, don't they? Because they want you to believe that fasting is really bad for you. You're going to go into starvation mode. Anyhow, let me read it to you. Some of the myths regarding fasting. Fasting puts you in starvation mode. This book is so big, I don't know where to put it. No, it doesn't. Fasting does not put your body into starvation mode. Starvation mode is if you were willingly or unwillingly deprived of food for months and months and months on end. if you do your research and you find out how long a person, a human being, can actually go without food, it's amazing, you guys. God has designed our bodies in such a way that we're able to sustain our bodies for long periods of time without food. Not without water though. I would say you need water for sure. You definitely need to be drinking and keeping yourself hydrated. Another myth is, this book is massive, isn't it? I'm trying to put it somewhere where I don't knock the camera. Fasting makes you burn muscle. So people think, well, if I were to go into a fasting state, then all the muscle that I've gained over the years is going to be depleted because my body's going to use muscle. No, it's not true. Fasting causes low blood sugar. No, it doesn't. In fact, what I would say is this. Fasting lowers blood sugar levels. However, it improves your sensitivity to insulin, which is generally most of the problem with weight gain, for example, isn't the calorie issue, it's regarding sensitivity to insulin. Insulin resistance is the problem. Thanks to these doctors, I've been learning the real truth about how counting calories is a load of nonsense. Our bodies are not designed, or God hasn't created our bodies to count and measure calories. However, our bodies do measure fat and sugar because it's all hormonal. Does that make sense? Another myth, fasting results in overeating. Now that's down to your individual discipline. If you're going to start binge eating straight after a fast, then that's up to you, isn't it? The benefit of you fasting is gone out the window. So you've really got to train yourself, learn how to have this self-control when it comes to food. I've done it too, you guys. When I did the 15-day fast for the first time 2 years ago, I opened my fast and I ate the wrong things. It was terrible. So now I know better about it. I'm more informed and I'm more educated. Another myth is that fasting deprives the body of nutrients. No, it doesn't. There are a lot of benefits to fasting, and depriving the body of nutrients is a big, big lie. They don't want us to fast, you guys. Big Pharma, the medical community out there, they don't want us fasting. Of course not. Because they know that no one's going to buy their pills. Once our bodies start to heal themselves and get restored the way God intended, who's going to want pills, high blood pressure pills and stuff? Here are some of the benefits of fasting. Fasting improves mental clarity and concentration, induces weight and body fat loss. Imagine this is all for free. No one's selling you anything. Improves insulin sensitivity, increases your energy, improves fat burning, prevents Alzheimer's disease, extends life, reverses the aging process, decreases inflammation and pain, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Because, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures, you know. So, yeah. Another question that I was asked was from Patrick. He says, water only, Sonia? That seems impossible for 2 weeks. So there's also this myth that you can't go on for much longer without nutrition, let's say food. Your body just cannot sustain itself. It's not true. There are people who do extended fasts. I'm talking about 30 days plus, and they're absolutely fine. They're better than what they were when they first started. So do your research, you guys. Look into it, but just, you know, please be sensible, be careful, you know. If you're really, really skinny and your body fat is like literally zilch, right? You know, obviously be sensible. You know, it's logical, isn't it? You can do a day's fast if you like, but I know when I look at my body, I'm telling you, I'm not joking, I could go 2 months without eating. I have enough body fat for my body to sustain itself for 2 months. And that is exactly what the body is going to do. For example, Dr. Jason Fung talks about the 2-compartment model. and he uses a refrigerator and the freezer. He says that the fat stores are like the freezer, which you don't really use as often, and your sugar stores are like your refrigerator, where you're in and out of on a daily basis. But what do you do when you've got no food left in the refrigerator and you know you've got tons of stored food in the freezer? You go to the freezer, right? But the only thing is, it takes a little longer to defrost and get into that food. That's what the body does. And so because I have all this storage, and I know by having it used up for fuel, my body's not only gonna lose the weight, which is fantastic, but it's also gonna begin to heal itself. Dead tissues, bad cells, old injuries. If you've had an injury that you sort of had years ago, these old injuries, for example, I used to do a lot of running when I was younger, and my left knee was injured while I was running, and it's never been the same. However, if I go on longer, what will happen is that left knee, that pain there, it started to inflame again when I was doing the fasting for 2 weeks. Had I gone into it a little longer, my knee would have completely healed itself, because the tissues start to repair themselves. You know why? Because when you're not eating, and all that hard work that your intestines, the whole digestive system is doing, because it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work going on when you're eating food. It has to break this stuff down and, you know, extract the nutrients and what have you. When your body's got a chance to rest, it doesn't just sit there idle. It does things. It gets to work. It cleans up shop. So had I left it a little longer and pushed my fast into 30 days, for example, I believe that the way God has designed our bodies, I think my knee would have been healed, because it was very peculiar to have that old pain resurface again, you know. But when you read the guidelines, you know, because I can put that link in the description as well. I can't believe there's so much to talk about regarding fasting. There's a wonderful, it's like what to expect when you do an extended water only fast, and someone has put down this really detailed set of phases that the body goes through the first phase and then the second phase and so forth. What else did I want to put on here? So it's really good to have that information, so as you're fasting you recognize what is happening to your body, and it keeps you motivated as well, you know. I remember when I was fasting in them 15 days, my prayers were different. I believe the Lord was responding to certain prayers a lot. Not that he was responding quicker, but my spirit was able to understand what was shown to me quicker than what I would normally have understood the Lord when he would talk to me or show me something, and it was through dreams. Another thing you can do is do you know, I've got notes there, so let me just finish with the notes, the questions that some of you friends had mentioned. Stifler's dad, who calls himself that, he said, how does fasting work? What's the purpose? What to eat, what not to eat, what to drink and what not to drink? It's a great question. Hopefully I just sort of explained how fasting works. And the purpose is multiple purposes, several. For healing of the physical body, self-control, and healing of the brain. You know, the brain, because the central nervous system, it all runs on electronically, right? It's the central nervous system. And when that begins to repair itself as well, can you imagine the wonders it does for your body, you guys? What to eat and what not to eat. Well, you're not eating at all, are you? If you're doing a water-only fast, completely no food at all. The first day, like I said, the second day, up to possibly 3 days. It depends on how badly you are dependent on sugar. If you're quite a large person and your body is just screaming out, sugar, I live on sugar, your withdrawals or your cravings are going to be slightly more intense than somebody else's who is a little more fat adapted. They run more on healthy fats, you see, which is another reason, which is another reason why some people like to have a bulletproof coffee, which is black coffee with butter, butter, coconut oil, whipped cream. It sounds gross, doesn't it? I don't think I'll ever want to have a bulletproof coffee, but because it's all fat in the coffee, your body doesn't spike insulin, you see, because insulin is the problem. When people are gaining weight, there's the problem with insulin resistance, you see, so you want to get that hormonal thing back in balance, get it back in check so it can function properly. Another reason why fasting works is because I believe God has designed our bodies for feasting and for fasting. You know, there's a time to enjoy meat, wine in the olden days, but there were seasons where you wouldn't eat like that. You wouldn't have, look at it now, I mean, my goodness, they tell us to eat 6 to 8 meals a day. That's ridiculous, that's madness. They never used to eat like that back in the olden days. It certainly isn't biblical, you guys. So they've made us, they've brainwashed us, indoctrinating us to be constantly on the go. Our system's constantly digesting, breaking down food, which isn't normal. It's not how the body's designed. But we've all fallen for it. Isn't that what they say? You know, eat every 2 hours and then have a meal, then have another snack for every 2 hours, and then your body's continually on the go. It's not having a break. It's not how it's designed to function. Honestly, it's not meant to be that way. So I believe feasting and fasting is very godly. It's a very biblical discipline, and I really want to get that discipline in my life, you guys. So I'm purposely going to put my body into this shock. I'm going to shock it, shock the heck out of it. And it needs it. It needs to be disciplined. You know, whipping my flesh into shape. Another thing is Phoebe. Phoebe said she's going to join as well in the fast, but she's going to do from 6 to 6 in the first week and from 6 to 12 in the second week, which I think is fantastic. That sounds like to me what is oftenly or more commonly known as intermittent fasting. Some people can, let's say, skip breakfast. Okay, put it this way. If you had your dinner last night, let's say at 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. the next morning, you would usually have your breakfast. But if you skip that, and let's say you delay your breakfast, or even let's say you eat lunch at 12, you've effectively done intermittent fasting. You've just extended the period from when you last ate to the next time you eat. That's really good. If you have a lifestyle of doing that, like somebody else had said, who else said they have a lifestyle of doing that? Katia, sorry. She said she has a lifestyle or everyday fast 3 p.m. So that's telling me every day she doesn't eat until 3 p.m. So I don't know if she just has the one meal at 3 p.m. or if she continues to eat from 3 p.m., which is, you know, that's fine as well, isn't it? There's just so many. There's alternate day fasting where you eat every other day. And for some people that works really good, you know, because we're all different. Our bodies are different. But we have one thing in common where God has designed our bodies for feasting and for fasting. We can go long periods without eating, you guys. But because we're not used to it, our bodies kick and scream if we pull away the food in the first 2 days. I keep saying the first 2 to 3 days because that's what I experienced. I read up on it, and it's very common for other people as well. Now, some people who are used to living or are disciplined in a fasting lifestyle, their cravings might not be as intense. some of us will have intense cravings. I know for sure this time when I start my fast, which is from tonight, by let's say tomorrow evening around 8 p.m. I'm gonna really feel it kicking in. I just have to ride it, rest. The first 2-3 days I'm going to be resting, taking it easy, meaning I'm not going to be doing any heavy lifting. I'm going to allow my body to enjoy the rest and let it slow down and just begin to heal. In fact, it doesn't begin to heal then. The healing process and where it breaks down all the bad tissues and starts to consume the dead tissues. Yes, our body starts to consume dead living cells if you give it the time to do so. That happens usually, what did they say? Around about a week later. It depends. Again, it depends. I'm going to find the links and I'll put them in the description. It's so good, you guys. It's so good. Let's see what else. One of my subscribers called Inc, or E-I-N-C, I'm not sure, Inc, she said as you're giving up food during the fast, you should give to the poor. And I love that idea. I absolutely love it, and I'm going to consider to do that. You know, you're giving up eating during the fasting. The best thing to do is that food, give it to the homeless. I love that idea. Thank you so much for that. I wouldn't have thought of that myself. Thank you ever so much. You know, that reminds me, this past 4 weeks, you guys, I've been feeding these homeless cats across the street, and it's been really stressful. It's been very upsetting because of one of the cats was injured really severely. It's a long story. Some of my friends already know about this. Oh my goodness, I had a really good sob yesterday, crying my eyes out. But anyway, off track. What else would I like to say? I think that's it. So I'm going to do this. I made another note here. I'm doing this to help with the pain in my body, inflammation, and to relieve my body of pain, to improve my immune system. And then I got to thinking about this coronavirus. I mean, what the heck is happening right now, you guys? Coronavirus. It's actually quite worrying. It's more serious than I initially thought. So I'm thinking, are they either playing it down or they're not just being forthcoming with all the facts? Of course, it's probably what the situation is. So it's a good time to improve our immune system. It's you know, it's a form of discipline, isn't it? So I'm also expecting in the next 24 hours to 36 hours, let's say the next 2, maybe 3 days, my body's going to use up all its sugar, and then it's going to start looking for food, and then that's when I'm going to enjoy the fast. There's a period in the fast where when your body is using the fat for fuel, you begin to feel energized, and your metabolism, check this out, that's another myth. People say if you go fasting, your metabolism really drops and it slows down. It doesn't. They've done research, clinical research, and they have found out and proven that fasting, given enough time, 3rd day or even the 4th day, I think they call it going into ketosis. Anyway, I probably got that wrong. Ketosis. No, that's right. Given enough time, your body goes, your metabolism spikes. It goes up, it doesn't go down, which is why people start losing weight pretty quickly within the first 2 weeks of fasting. It's a very normal thing for the body to do. Another thing is, I just remembered, is this thing called autophagy. Autophagy. And what that is saying is your body has a system God has designed, inbuilt within us, that likes to clean up waste on a daily basis. So for one of my friends here, Keisha, who said that she fasts every day until 3 p.m, her body does autophagy daily. She allows it enough time for it to go, right, let's clean up before we get more food. That's called autophagy, and that eats dead cancer cells and prevents those potential cancer cells from growing. So I'm going to give you all the links. I do know what I'm talking about. I know it sounds crazy, but it's so interesting, isn't it? Okay, I'm probably not wording it right, but generally these are facts I'm giving you, okay? Now, what else? Okay, let me tell you a little bit about how I'm going to actually do it, God willing, in Jesus' name. So, I'm going to consume water. Ideally, room temperature water. I'm going to drink some herbal tea. Right now, I've got some, what have I got here? Grape juice? Hold on a minute. That's lovely. Cranberry juice, actually. And I'm going to drink some herbal tea as well. It depends. It depends. Maybe like peppermint tea. And when I did that fast for 2 weeks, 15 days, I drank a cup of broth in the evening, which is literally like water. I added a lot of salt. I added some cayenne pepper. And so that was a nice sort of a nice hot drink to have in the evening, just a cup of broth. So I'm going to do that again this time. And you know, there's no rule to it, you know, there's no strict rule. As long as your heart is focused on the Lord, reading the Bible and praying, I think he knows what you're trying to do. Your heart is sincerely seeking to get closer to him, and also to have your body, if it's all broken and beat down, your body seeking healing. So I believe the Lord will honor that, you know. So there's no hard and fast rules to this. Just be careful, of course. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, so really, how long are you fasting? I'm going to fast, I said initially 2 weeks, but I really want to do longer than that. So anyway, let's see. Maybe what I'll do like a journal. I'll come and upload another video, not like on the daily, but just to keep you updated on, you know, how I'm doing in the fast, if that helps anyone. That'd be fun to do that. Anyway, so I hope that helps, friends. If you can get that book, I recommend it. It's that one. I'm sorry, it's all like, you've got to turn it around. It's called The Complete Guide to Fasting. Intermittent, Alternate Day and Extended Fasting by Drs Jason Fung with Dr. Jimmy Moore. And fantastic. There's another doctor called Dr. Mindy. She's in California. Dr. Jason Fung is in Canada. And they are advocates to heal their patients through fasting. And there's so much help out there now, guys. We don't need this medication stuff. We don't. Anyway, I'm going to put the links in the description. I hope this is useful and interesting. It's very, very out of the ordinary, but I wanted to respond to all the questions that people were asking me regarding my fast. So there you go. There you go. God bless you all, and let me know what you think. If you've got any objections, if you've got any questions that you feel that I haven't sort of addressed, then please let me know, and I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. What else? Is there anything else? Yeah, I'm starting tonight, so tonight is the night. So let me know if you're going to join me tonight as well, you guys. I love you. The Lord Jesus be with you, and I will resume with a teaching tomorrow and pick up where I left off. Thank you so much. The Lord be with you. Bye-bye.